Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do an update to a video I covered last week titled, My Wife Came Out as Poly and Thinks I'll Support Her by Taking Me to a Poly-Friendly Therapist. And a big shout out to Joshua for sending me this update to the story. And guys, if you recall, this is the story about the guy. I believe he was married to his wife for 11 years. Or he's been with his wife for 11 years. They haven't been married for 11 years, but they've been together for 11 years. Early 30s, and he truly is in love with her, which is unfortunately puts him in a bad position in terms of leverage in their relationship. I thought he had a great thing going. And then one day, she starts bringing up the idea about opening up their marriage to a poly relationship, came out as poly, that type of bullshit. And he's had a very hard time dealing with this. And I gotta admit, when I first read his story, I felt bad for him because it seemed a little different than the stories before. Because she had brought it up, but claimed nothing was going on yet. But we all know from the stories that I've done, overwhelmingly, when these gals bring up the polyamorous relationship, open marriage, open relationship, they either A, are already hooking up with somebody else or multiple someones, or they already have them lined up and ready to go for permission to cheat. And in this story, according to him, nothing was going on yet. And she's warming up to this idea, and he's trying to be supportive, but it's tearing him apart inside, all that. And I pretty much concluded where they're going to give it, supposedly she knew obviously how upset he was, but didn't care. Even took him to a poly-friendly therapist to talk him into this shit. You know, it's just ridiculous. And pretty much they were giving it like a few months to figure things out and all that. But pretty much I told him, and guys in the comments said, it's over. It's not going to work, okay? Because she doesn't give a shit about you. She sees how torn apart you are, but doesn't care. She's just trying to there you, and I'm guaranteeing that probably while she's there-thering him and giving it a few months to think about it, she's still getting her sausage someplace else, okay? And I say all the time, and I can't stress this enough, when the gal brings this stuff up, it's over. Problem is, nowadays, you have more mainstream media talking about this subject. I've seen articles pop up on major, mainstream media talking about this lifestyle, some promoting it, or saying maybe this is not a bad idea. And it's ridiculous. When they bring it up, it's over. Because no gal that truly loves her guy wants him touching anybody else, and she's not going to want to touch anybody else. But the problem is this guy, he doesn't have the leverage in the relationship. She does. And that's the problem when guys are more into the girl than she is. More into her than she is into him. And you can't let that be that way for you relationship guys. Otherwise, very likely you could be asking for trouble. There, I had to say my piece. So now we're going to get into the update here, see what happens with him and all that. And, well, let me tell you, you're going to be shaking your head. So the update begins. He says, thank you all for your comments, advice, and kind words. After reading a lot what you had to say, I decided that at the very least, I should be honest with myself by being honest with her about what I want. I talked to her and reiterated that I only want to be with her and I don't want her to see anyone else. Good. I'm glad you accept that and are saying that. And that any changes to our relationship dynamic has to be discussed and enthusiastically consented to and reaffirmed regularly. Notice he said enthusiastically. Well, that's great he's saying what he wants, but the problem is, already, she's made up her mind. So this can't work. I asked her to confirm with me that we are monogamous right now, and she said yes. And she said that I'm her life partner and the one she wants to be with. Yeah, because you pay the bills. I apologized to her for not being quite clear earlier about my discomfort, and we decided to hit the reset button on all this during the pause. Smack! You don't owe her an apology for shit. She should be apologizing. And if you think you're just going to click the reset button and everything's going to be okay, no. Because you're always going to be wondering, is she actually breaking the rules? Is she hooking up with somebody else? Is she thinking about it? Who's she talking to on the phone? Who's she texting with? Wow, she's an hour late from coming home from work. Where is she? These are things that are going to plague his mind. And you can't have a relationship with no trust and all this uncertainty. I asked her to cut off ties with that person that she has feelings for, and while she was saddened by this, she asked me to trust that she would do it and not bring that person up again. Yeah, because she's been so trustworthy up to this point. She told me she wants to choose me even if it's painful right now. And she can't promise that she won't resent me over this, but would let me know if it happens. She can't promise him that won't be resentful about this. This is not going to work, okay? it's just not going to work. And again, this is the Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 world we're in right now. And this is what happens when guys give girls all the power in the relationship. I guarantee the guy she's hot for and has feelings for, who she says will try not to resent her husband for saying that you can't sleep with him, he probably doesn't behave like this guy at all. He says, "You're right. Our relationship isn't poly in any form unless we're both 100%. Because poly relationships require honest communication and consent, not unlike mono relationships. The point being, your relationship is what you both enthusiastically consent to, and anything less than that, complete and utter consent, is unethical and harmful. We both had a hand in this and are working to be better to ourselves and to each other." What do you mean you had a hand in this? This is all on her. The problem is this guy, instead of saying what he really thought early on, he was going along with it because he obviously didn't want to lose her and all that, and would try to be open up and be listening and accommodating and trying to be that guy that TV's trying to tell guys how to be, and how a lot of women tell guys how to be. And look where it got him. He says, "To be clear, I left out my original post as she told me that she would be okay with me seeing other people and would be happy for me, but I told her repeatedly over the last few months that I don't like the idea of seeing anyone else because I have everything I could want more with her." Well, clearly not. So she's not in love with him if she once says it's okay that he hooks up with other women. Because believe me, she'd be, one, hurt by this, but also threatened by this. But she also knows darn well, and she's saying that she's okay with it because she knows darn well he doesn't want to do that. And she also knows darn well it'll be a lot harder for him to get playtime with other gals than it is for her to easily get some sausage. Okay, there's reason behind these things. And this is also why a lot of the gals, when the guy actually gets a girl, wants to close the open relationship like that. She is something. "I love her and I love our relationship." Smack. "Well, you're out of your mind, brother. I want all the good and the bad, and growing together is what gives me the most satisfaction. And I don't care for NRE. I want ORE, old relationship energy. I want to love her more every day. I want to deal with this shit because it's her and not anyone else." Smack. Bro, I kind of felt bad for you in the beginning of the last story and video. I'm not feeling bad for you anymore because you're bringing this shit on yourself with this whole open-minded crap you're having here. You got no one else to blame but yourself if you're going to be enduring all this turmoil and things that are going to be happening now and will happen down the road. You need a guy that has life experience to tell you how it is. That's what I'm doing here. But the problem is a lot of these guys, as they've been so brainwashed by the narrative, and you all know what I'm talking about here, that until they hit rock bottom, until everything they held of value in the girl has come crashing down and they've been worn down to nothing, then they're willing to listen. Until then, it's all this nonsense. He says here, "I want to make joyous memories together." Well, she'll be making joyous memories and chatting in Tyrone. It pained me every day that she implied or stated that dating other people is okay, and I had to specifically tell her to stop saying I'm allowed to date others outside of our therapy sessions because it felt like coercion, and she apologized and agreed that she was overly excited and inconsiderate. That's an understatement. I told her multiple times, and I hope she sticks to her word. Dude, you are out of your freaking mind if you think she's going to stick to her word. No guys should go through this, but again, it's like first time shame on them, second time shame on you. So you're allowing this. It's over. Walk away. End it. He says, she also admitted to me, now listen to this. She also admitted to me that sometimes she mourns all she could have had. Translation, all the sausage she could have had. I asked her if that meant she would have wanted to swap the life we had with something else, and she said no. It meant that she sometimes mourns a different life with a curiosity, but I didn't quite buy that. She said that she loves the life we have together while simultaneously mourning that she could have been, and that mourning is only sometimes. I told her I never mourned the past because of what we have today, and with all the good and the bad. Well, what you have today is a gal that wants to hook up with other dudes, so it ain't that good, brother. And he keeps saying, I love her for all the good and the bad. Typical nice guy, clueless nice guy shit. And listen, this goes to show you, thanks to now the narrative nowadays brought on by the feminist movement years ago in the S-word revolution, the girl's missing the life that she could have had. In other words, being free to hook up with every dude in town. That's the life. But again, you can't be a strong, empowered gal in 2022 soon to be 2023, unless you're having relations with other dudes left and right, and an OnlyFans account, and you get my point. It's ridiculous. I told her the life we lived and continue to live together is the brightest light and the strongest pillar of my life. Smack! You're in for your surprise, brother. And wishing for anything else feels dishonest and untrue to me. She agreed it was similar for her, but she still wonders anyway. I know that while this isn't a time limit, it still feels like one. I don't know it, or if when she will come to resent me or a relationship because of a need to see what else is out there, or I guess more kindly explore love in others. And irony is that her sister was dumped by her ex because he wanted to see what was out there, and we laughed at this stupidity years ago. And I feel like that is happening in slow motion for me. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if she knew this guy would kick her to the curb like this, she would never be pulling this crap. But because she's with this understanding, nice guy that's behaving in a way that you guys have seen in this video and the other one, she knows, hey, there's no consequences. I can say and do what I want, and he's going to be there no matter what. Stay with me during the good and the bad. It's like with kids. Kids need to know there's consequences. When kids know their consequences, they are less likely to pull bullshit. But when parents don't discipline their kids, and there are consequences to the child's actions, all hell breaks loose. It's the same thing with adults and also with women. And yes, women do behave like children. And men have to be like the strong parents sometimes. It says here, that being said, I feel at a minimum that I got to put my foot down. You think? Both for her and myself. I'm preparing for the worst to come while hoping for the best. I still want us to work out because what we have is too precious just to toss away. Dude, you are out of your mind. Precious my ass. Call me an idiot. You are. But I'm willing to try. And if her need to love others supersedes her need for me, so be it. I'll be ready either way. The threat of the end doesn't have to mean daily despair. It can mean a reason to take every day with grace and gratitude, and that's how I choose to move forward. Thank you truly, everyone. I feel the love and support from all. Smack! Brother, I'm sure deep down you're a good guy, mean well, but you are just bringing all this turmoil into your life. You should have laid down the law from day one. In fact, said it was over. Okay? Here's how this is going to go. She's no doubt already hooking up with somebody else, or she's going to do it soon. And keep telling you exactly what you want to hear, but finding a way to word it in a way that she gets a pass. And because she knows that you are more into the relationship than her, and you're subscribing to this nice guy shit, the narrative, she can get what she wants. Ultimately, you're going to have your heart stomped out because she's going to choose. She wants the cake and eat it too. Have you there to listen to all her problems, pay the bills, and be there for her, and have that ring on her finger, be her husband. Meanwhile, she gets to do whatever she wants. You actually want to be married to that? Have some self-respect. Gather up your strength, gather up the remnants of the self-respect you may once had, and end the marriage, okay? No guy that wants a traditional marriage, traditional things, and is a good guy at heart, should be with someone like this. She's a selfish a-hole, and you're out of your mind to think otherwise. But the problem is now is that we have more of this going around, that guys are starting to think this is normal. By you allowing this, by you trying to be understanding, it's just making the matter worse. It's ridiculous. So, bro, I don't know if you're ever going to see this. End it. You're only going to end up in a whole lot of pain. And I guarantee you that if you were to do this open relationship poly thing and find another girl, and she felt threatened, I guarantee you like that, she'll want to close it up because she doesn't want to lose her meal ticket or have the stability, the rock in her life. Guaranteed. But gentlemen, this is what happens when a guy falls head over heel for his girl, is so more into it, the relationship than she is, because she knows this, okay? And it's a sad fact that the power of the relationship lies with the one who cares the least. That line is dead true. And it doesn't mean that you're awful to your girl. If she is good and loyal and treats you well with respect and takes care of you in the bedroom and takes care of herself and is fun to be around, minimal drama, because all girls bring a little drama no matter what, then be good to her too. But still, it is far better that she's more into it than you. And a girl always has to know that no matter what, even if you have a good thing going, she has to know that if she crosses the line too much with disrespect or whatever that happens to be, that you will walk and she'll never see you again, because that will keep her in line. It's unfortunate that you have to be harsh that way, but when women think that their guy, no matter what, is always going to be there, that's when bullshit happens. That is a common theme to the well over 1,000 stories I've covered on this channel and the other one, and you guys know this. When men are weak, because women don't respect weakness, that's when bullshit happens. And they know that, hey, no matter what I do, this sucker is always going to be here. So to the bro, I wish you the best, but you're out of your mind if you go down this path thinking it's going to work and I'm going to take the good with the bad because she's so amazing. No. You're only going to bring suffering. So, I'm going to read a few comments here, and then I'm going to wrap this up. One guy says here, I'm going to say this. Your wife is not a good person or partner. Amen. Her saying she may resent you for something she agreed to is backhanded and, in my honest opinion, manipulative, and he's fighting back, cutting the person of that she was going to cheat with your wife. Yes, she communicated, but you were not on board. It's another issue entirely. You guys are on borrowed time. Yeah. Another guy says here, she is manipulating you into a polyamorous lifestyle that will be surely benefiting her to your own detriment. To be honest, your marriage is over. She does not care about you and your difficulties. She only cares about pleasing herself. No matter what she says or what the rose-tinted glasses are telling you about how wonderful of a partner she isn't. The person you thought you loved does not exist anymore, if she ever existed at all. You need to leave her and get a divorce. Do not let her back into your life. He wrote that in giant capital letters. Even for a text or phone call. You'll be easily manipulated into a new relationship if you do. While you've spent 11 years together, it is better than wasting 10, 20, or however many more years with someone who does not care for you, and missing out on someone who can love and be loved for the rest of your life. I could have said it better myself. That guy said a lot nicer than I would say, but it's the absolute truth. This guy's wasting time because he's got misery in his life. He already is miserable. And he needs to end it with her. Even if he takes a hit financially, he'll move on and work on himself and end this nice guy behavior. Otherwise, the next girl he meets will pull the same shit, especially given the world we're in right now. And one more I'm going to read real quick. This guy says, I'm so very sorry that you are being put through this horrible excuse for a license to cheat by your wife. Suddenly identifying as polyamorous. Right, suddenly identifying. The same outcome has been the mindset of every bisexual person I've ever met, with the exception of 3 out of a dozen or so. With the mindset that as long as they're in the monogamous relationship, then it isn't cheating if they explore themselves with someone of the same sex. It's so cliche, but it's happened over and over again, and ended up hurting a dear friend or causing the eventual destruction of the relationship of a partner, unfortunately. Your relationship, as you know it from a lived experience, is over. It's just in the death throes right now. For your own emotional and mental health, it would be better to walk away because your wife has already made her intentions clear. She's just waiting for you to either agree with her desires and join her, give her permission to go ahead while you stay faithful, or you determine that you can no longer fight for your marriage and the constant threat that she'll finally act on her intentions and you walk away. In any of these scenarios, you are still giving her permission to proceed without her having to carry the guilt of your relationship ending. In her mind, at least, because you are too rigid and straight-laced. Yeah. He says if you aren't already ready, please find a therapist who will help you deal with the heartbreak this is causing you. I'm definitely worried that this betrayal will cause far-reaching scars on your ability to trust any future love interest or even yourself, because you thought you knew you could rely on your wife until she sprung this on you after so many years. He says, by the way, please don't come for me with accusations of being biphobic, as I don't care who you sleep with or what you do with whom. My issue is with people who have gotten into committed relationships without discussing their sexual preferences beforehand, and then hurting their partners by going outside the relationship thinking that it's not cheating because it's the same sex. This has happened with both male and female friends of mine, gay and straight. Best wishes and many blessings for your future. Okay. And by the way, the whole comment section is full of people pretty much saying what I'm saying in that. Some say it more harsh than I'm saying it. Some are saying a lot nicer and sugar-coated. It's not going to work. So, we shall see. I'll keep an eye on this and see what happens down the road. But something tells me, unfortunately, he'll probably go along with this, have his heart stomped out, and then finally, after there's nothing left, then divorce her and probably say, you were all right. But a lot of people just have to go through hell and don't take the wisdom of people that are more experienced and older and been through it all. So hopefully you guys who watch this channel can listen to these stories. That's what you're doing here. You're watching me move my hands around the car. Listen to these stories. Hear the mistakes people make and not make them yourself. Learn from other people's fuck-ups. That's all you can do. Because if you hear all these stories and you still do it, you got no one to blame but yourself. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. What you think about this. Let this guy know what you think in the comments section. The more comments, the better. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.